Good morning, no. Good morning, Good morning, Logan. What's a poppin'?
This is Rodney Petersen, better known on his social medias as Logan Paul. And without me needing to explain further, yes, it is because he looks just like Logan, but there is a deeper story to tell with this working family man as to how he has now had his entire world be flipped upside down once people started to note the similarities to the controversial YouTuber. So, Rodney, born August 25th, 1988, coincidentally 30 years to the day before Logan will have his first ever boxing match against KSI. Rodney will be born on that day and grow up to be an MMA fighter around the early 2010s, where his record on this Tapology site currently shows him being 0-6 in the sport. But after looking for footage of Rodney's fights, two graphics popped up showing that he has had even more matches in the past and also more at around that time. And another unreported one that I managed to come across was this super early matchup here that was uploaded in February of 2009. Hey, post-edit Kevin here. So when Rodney was doing some promo for his recent fight at Misfits 12, he was asked about his MMA record, and Rodney set the record straight with him saying that he actually has 25 fights.
Tapology does back to 2014. There's a few other sites that go back to like 2012, but my first cage fight was in 2008. My current record is 11 wins, 13 losses, 1 no contest, and I'm on a 7-fight losing streak because my ground game sucked.
So there's the clarification on that. Now back to the video. But even with the multitude of matches in his MMA career, Rodney wouldn't find huge success in the sport, as he would constantly take losses and have to leave that professional part of his life behind, with his last reported match here taking place in 2015. Rodney would lay low in the eyes of the public for the next several years up until 2020, when his wife introduced him to the rising app TikTok. Rodney, after posting content on the platform for a while, people started to say in his comments that he looked like Logan, most specifically in this one video that blew up for him.
Alright, let's do it.
No,
Come on, that looks fun.
no,
Let's try.
no,
Once?
no.
More and more comments would start flooding Rodney's page, noting the similarities to Logan, and Rodney would poke fun back at those comments and play along with them with videos like these.
Thank you all for blowing up my page, but I'm not impersonating Logan. I'm just being me. If that's something he wanted to do, we can do it. But there's other things that we could do. I mean, we're doppelgangers, okay? The possibilities are endless. Yeah. Well, anything for money, dude.
This last video here, being the most interesting of the bunch, has not only did it receive a ton of likes, but it also got the attention of Jake Paul, which many of you know is Logan's younger brother. Jake will comment on Rodney's post here, jokingly asking, "Bro, why haven't you texted me back?" To which then Rodney would poke fun back at with this video response right here.
Why am I not texting you back? Dude, you know why I'm not texting you back. You're talking all sorts of mad shit. I'm tired of it, dude.
So after that, Rodney kept making his content of him, his family, his work of building fences, which he frequented in using that machine there to smash things. And also started upping his content a bit more with the Logan imitation, even collabing with Kate and Booth here to have a little fun campaign of not prime hydration drinks. And with all of that happening, Rodney started getting even more and more attention, and had even done an interview with Insider, where in their documentation of the creator, they went over his recent beginnings in the social media game, his discovery of Logan Paul, and how he had felt when people compared him to the massive creator in the comments. To that, Rodney said, "I often receive comments from people calling me Logan Paul after drugs, or the cracked out version of Paul. While these aren't exactly flattering, it doesn't bother me, and I've learned to let these comments go straight in one ear and out of the other. I know that my TikTok videos are going to be up on the internet for a long time, and if my kids were to see them one day, I want to have set a good example for them by responding kindly to everyone." As to what he had to say about Logan though, during the time of the article in October of 2022, Rodney said that he's grown to like Paul and doesn't necessarily think that it's fair to judge anyone solely on their mistakes. And then the unexpected happened. Logan Paul took notice of the article and was finally made aware of Rodney's not Logan Paul art. Logan took a screenshot of the Insider article and then posted it onto his Instagram story saying, "Unbelievable," while having a laugh, and then posted another screenshot of where he had DM'd Rodney saying that they had now made contact, and in the messages shows that he was looking to send some prime over to the doppelganger. But that wouldn't be the end of Rodney and Logan's interactions there. No, because a couple of weeks later, Rodney would come out to watch the Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva bout, and then have a meetup with Logan Paul himself in person, to which Logan will make a post about it on his Twitter and Instagram, calling Rodney the third Paul brother on Halloween nonetheless. The two would take the opportunity here to make some content around the meetup and have some fun with it.
Meeting my doppelganger for the first time.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's nuts. You're me, dude.
It's in height, too. It's like, nuts.
We're like, look at this. Alright, take it off. Alright, look. Holy that was trippy as hell. Yo, you guys you got so much alike. You're the best brother I've ever had. What the
Yeah.
And it wouldn't just be limited to those short videos there. Rodney would also make an appearance on the Impulsive podcast and sit in for Logan in character for the intro of the show.
And I was down on a party with my brother. He's like, oh, I'm going to sleep.
It takes a lot to make this work, okay? It's the #1 podcast in the world right now, and that's not by chance.
So what's going on? What KSI? You guys really friends, or is it just for money and clout?
We talking about? Yeah, yes, he's my friend and business partner.
And with that meetup and collab there being all said and done, it was then time for Rodney to go back home to his place and continue his grind as a working father and now social media personality / content creator. But Rodney wanted to do more. Rodney wanted to do something new in the public eye that would showcase some of his combat skills to a new set of eyeballs. Rodney wanted to get back in the fighting game, but this time with the sport of boxing. As 2022 was coming to an end, Rodney will make the surprising announcement that he was going to be partaking in a celebrity boxing match as non-Logan Paul and be facing off against a Snoop Dogg lookalike named Lawrence D.O.G.G. Johnson. And for what the card was worth, Blake Hall, aka not Jake Paul, was also going to be fighting on that night. So Rodney's fight was then set on March 11th, 2023, and on that night, the confident fighter showed out in his performance as he even had time to showboat a bit and get a throwdown against D.O.G.G., thus eventually coming out with a unanimous decision win in the end. As Rodney celebrated his victory here with his counterpart not Jake Paul, one had to wonder what was next for him. Misfits boxing maybe? Well, that would seem to be the case, as on the following month in April, Rodney would attend the Misfits 6th event where he met several of the fighters from the organization and made connections to perhaps partake in a match in the future in the Rising Company. During the event, the MMA fighter Nate Diaz would attend the show to support one of his boys during one of the matches, and then while doing so, he would get into it with one of the fighters from earlier that night, that being Chase Demore. After the Misfits 6 event ended, animosity between the Diaz and the Moore parties would continue out into the streets, and Rodney, poor sweet old Rodney, while being in the area, would attempt to calm things down by walking up to the heated Nate with a hand motioning for him to relax, and Nate, in the heat of the moment, will grab Rodney by the neck, get a kick or two at him, and put the attempting peacemaker to sleep to the point where when he was let go, his head had bounced off of the historic location of Bourbon Street. As Rodney awoke later, he was seen with blood in the back of his head, but he seemed to be in good spirits as he would not only be smiling in this video with overflow, showing some of the damage that he had gotten, but would also jokingly send a message to Nate after the fact.
So I don't know what the hell I did to Nate Diaz, but I'm telling you what, I'm gonna knock him the fuck out when I know he's coming, okay? Like, you caught me off guard, dude. What, you think I was Logan? What the fuck?
Rodney ended up getting 8 staples, and it was then seen that the New Orleans Police Department had issued an arrest warrant for Nate Diaz on a charge of second-degree battery for the situation. Diaz's defense as to why he did what he did essentially boiled down to self-defense, where his attorney used Rodney's history of MMA fighting in the past to their advantage in saying that the trained fighter named Rodney Petersen aggressively pursued Nate with the intention of engaging him, and once doing so, Nate acted entirely in self-defense. Nate would later turn himself in to the New Orleans Police Department, but still continued to defend himself, even in the media, like when he had this to say on the Full Send podcast.
I walked out of this bar and that whole street was fighting. I started crossing the street. I'm looking, and then fake Logan Paul runs up in my face. He's like, whoa, like, this fool's gonna hit me. He's like, I'm about to like back up. And he pushed into me. I had my headlock, and then the whole street was going crazy. Like, these fools are gonna fuck me up. So I choked his ass. I was defending myself.
Now, what did the real Logan have to say about the situation? Well, first, he initially posted this tweet right here about his lookalike getting choked out, and then he had also made a video with his brother Jake, as Jake used this opportunity to talk some trash against Nate for their upcoming boxing match in August of that year.
Today we're going to be teaching you what to do if you see a homeless Stockton man trying to come at you in the middle of the streets.
Whoa, well, I really don't want any problems. Please leave me alone. I don't want any problems.
I don't give a fuck, man. Oh, so I got him in this chokehold now. Insert the snorkel. Now that you're able to breathe, you're gonna escape and punish. Run away. You're gonna run away.
Logan, later realizing the severity of the situation, announced on his podcast that he was going to fund the lawsuit at hand against Nate Diaz, but that he was then notified that the case taking place was pro bono, meaning that basically the lawyer or lawyers on the case were going to be essentially doing it for free and not needing a fund for it.
I reached out to the guy and I was like, this is fucked up. Like, it was actually hard to watch. And I felt bad for him, and he looks like me. We got to protect our kind. And so I offered to fund the lawsuit against Nate Diaz, and so I connected him with some legal counsel, and I think he'll probably be walking away with a pretty healthy check.
So you're paying for his lawyers?
I offered to, and then it turns out the legal team we connected him with is taking the case pro bono because I would assume they think it's a takeaway.
Either way, as that case was taking place in the background, Rodney kept on doing his thing, and the situation will continue to get joked at during one of the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz press conferences, showing that the whole thing was still fresh on everybody's minds.
Did you think it was Logan Paul when they were all on the street there?
You gonna act like that wasn't Logan?
Thought it was Logan?
It is Logan. What are you talking about? Shout out to Logan. He'll be all right.
Jake, in the month of August, ended up winning his fight against Nate, and Rodney has some things to say about it on his TikTok when he captioned a clip of Nate's aftermath on that night with, "Nate tried getting him with a standing guillotine. It worked on me because you had two of your friends punching my ribs. Hashtag not Logan Paul." As things were settling in the case between New Orleans and Nate Diaz soon after, we then finally got a conclusive update on the suit when in September, prosecutors came to the decision that Nate Diaz, quote unquote, did in fact act in self-defense and declined to prosecute him. Nate's representative, heading on to that point and rubbing some salt in the wounds, continued to hold his stance by dissing Rodney and saying that Petersen sought out to fight Nate on Bourbon Street and that Nate has a right to defend himself against those who want to make a name for themselves. Rodney, to my knowledge, did not respond to the decision, and to be honest, I don't think that he really cares as he wasn't the one that pursued this case in the first place anyways, and from past history, he's shown that he's not really into the negative aspects of life and just wants to live in peace while having some fun in his hobbies. As for what he went on to do after, ever since that whole fiasco, a notable event that took place with Rodney was that he went on to be a co-host throughout the 2023 Steamies Awards ceremony hosted by the H3 podcast crew. Rodney, throughout the night, came through with his now Logan Paul persona and had several moments of fun bantering as the character.
But it wasn't cool for me to make fun of your color blindness. That's a disability, man. It's just fucked up.
There's no need to apologize. Okay, you've done nothing wrong.
And as for most recently, Rodney has gone on to show that he's looking to make a dent in the crossover boxing scene in Misfits, as he went on to participate in the Misfits 12 event this past weekend against a tough opponent in Tristan Ham. As Rodney came in confident into the Misfits fight, he wouldn't be able to get another boxing win under his belt, as in the very first round of the match, he went on to get knocked out.
But Tristan... It's over! Will he get it done in one? I can't see. Not Logan Paul standing up from that one. Wow. That was huge. And he has counted him out. And a big win from Tristan Ham.
But even in the face of defeat, Rodney kept on being positive and gave his props to Tristan. And as for what's now next for the Logan Paul lookalike, he has gone on to say that this new venture in creating content has become very beneficial for him and his family, as the pay has been great for the recent opportunities. And with that, going back to the Insider article, he says that eventually he would like to go back to focusing on his dreams in martial arts and music, but that for now, the benefits that he's been receiving in all these new ventures are certainly helping him get closer to that. And with everything going on being not Logan Paul, Rodney, for the time being, will make the most out of it. But all in all, in the end, what Rodney most definitely cares for is being a great father that's there for his family. And with that, that'll be the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in another one.